Even after all these years, this game still looks fantastic. While other games attempted the whole pre-rendered graphics with questionable results, it works perfectly here. If I had to pick one complaint, it would be the bosses seem a bit basic and simple compared to the later games. That doesn't mean the game is easy by any means. There are some stages that definitely provide a challenge, but once you figure them out, you can typically breeze right through them. I believe I've said this before, but my favorite stage is no doubt Minecart Carnage. I hated this stage as a kid. I thought it was impossible. Over the years, I've grown an affinity for games that test your reflexes and reaction times for whatever reason. Also, while I don't really think too much about the soundtrack, the underwater music is without a doubt in my top 10 favorite songs from a video game. I'm not gonna lie, I am more of a fan of Streets of Rage. The main reasoning for that is the fact that this game just feels a bit too arcadey for me. And yes, I'm very much aware that this is a port of an arcade game. I just feel that a few adjustments could have made this a better console experience. My biggest complaint is how the continues work. This is actually the first time I've ever beat the second stage boss. Well, on the Super Nintendo that is. Why is that, you may ask? Well, as you can see, I barely made it out alive. And if I had died, well, it's all the way back to the beginning of the stage. And then typically I'd get frustrated, throw a hissy fit, and move on to something else. That may not seem like that big of a deal, but in this situation I'm starting off stage 3 with 0 lives. So it's almost like, why even try? I might as well just off myself and start the stage off with 3 lives to even stand a chance. It also doesn't help that it seems like only 4 or 5 hits take you down. Sure, there's also slowdown, a missing character, and the lack of 2-player, but honestly, the continues are what frustrate me the most. With that being said, it's still a fun beat 'em up, and if it was the only one I had, I'm sure I'd eventually master it, but I feel like it would take some time, so I'd definitely get my money's worth. I actually debated between this game or Gradius 3. Honestly, I could go either way, but I just find Super R-Type to be a tad bit easier. Not saying I'll be beating it anytime soon. Sure, it's plagued with slowdown, but that's to be expected, I guess. You would think slowdown would help you in these types of games, but no. I don't have a ton to say about this game. I was trying to go for a bit of variety, and I figured I need a shooter of some sort. I'm gonna be honest, I had $11 remaining and this was the game I picked. It's really not the worst game in the world. Matter of fact, I actually remember enjoying the Tiny Toons game on the NES. I did watch this show from time to time as a kid, but I don't recall much about it. Anyway, I don't have a whole lot to say about this game. The graphics are comparable to the show, at least for a 16-bit console. The controls can take some getting used to, but I've played worse. You know, if I had planned on doing this Super Nintendo challenge, I may have left Super Mario Bros. 3 off the NES list. Originally, I had planned on just going with Super Mario World, but hey, the more games, the better, right? I like how as a kid, I never really noticed that the graphics were updated for the Super Nintendo. I could tell there was something different, but I was really an oblivious child. Anyway, I can't say the games control the same as their NES counterparts, but then again, I've never really done a side-by-side comparison. I will always have a fondness for Mario. While the NES games are classics, Super Mario World may be my favorite Mario game of all time. And obviously I'm not the only one, as there's a plethora of hacks out there from super easy to super difficult, so there's nearly endless adventures to have. These games are classics and nothing makes me happier than seeing kids today having a blast playing them. They've stood the test of time and they'll no doubt continue to.